Welcome back, listener. You returned. That means something in you remembers. The hush of night when the world has gone still. Tonight, I have 3 stories for you. Each one begins in a park, a place we think we know, a place for laughter, for calm, for quiet. But when darkness falls, even parks recall things we've tried to forget. So get comfortable, turn down the lights, and listen closely. Because sometimes, if you listen long enough, the dark starts to listen back. Now, let's leave the light behind. Whatever you hear from this point forward is just between you and the dark. Ready? Let's begin the first story. Story 1. The Playground Voice. Before phones and social media swallowed the world, kids actually went outside. We weren't glued to screens. We had dirt, rust, and bruises. Our adventures were stitched together with scraped knees, cheap flashlights, and the kind of courage that only comes from being 13 and too dumb to be afraid. That summer, we met almost every night at the same playground. It wasn't anything special, just a rusted slide, a pair of swings, and a roundabout that groaned when it moved. But to us, it was a kingdom, a place for ghost stories we swore were true. That night started like all the others, me, Tony, and Rob. The air smelled like cut grass and rain that hadn't fallen yet. Cicadas hummed in the trees, and the street lights flickered, casting the world in soft, sleepy amber. We sat at the top of the slide, passing around a flashlight, daring each other to do something dumb. Then Tony said, "Shh, did you hear that?" We laughed. Classic Tony, always trying to freak us out. But then we heard it too. A hollow clang, a slow, heavy thump from inside the slide, deliberate, measured. I leaned forward, aiming the flashlight down the curved metal tunnel. Nothing, just our light reflecting back in dim, jittery shapes. Then a whisper. "Hello." A child's voice, soft, distant, echoing up the metal. We froze. It was too late for any kids to be out. And that voice, it didn't sound right, flat, too calm, like it didn't belong to the night. Tony swallowed. "Who's there?" No reply, just the soft creak of the swings, even though the air was dead still. Then it spoke again. "Catch me." If you've ever heard something when you knew you were alone, then you know the kind of fear that moves under your skin. Every hair on my arm stood up. I could feel my pulse pounding in my throat. "Let's go," I said, standing too fast. The metal platform shrieked under my feet. We jumped on our bikes, pedaling until the playground vanished behind us. No talking, no laughing, just that tight silence that only real fear knows how to make. When we got to my house, we dropped the bikes in the yard. Tony bent over, gasping. Rob paced, muttering. Echo. Maybe it was someone hiding under the slide. Then, 3 knocks. On the back gate, a woman's voice. "Hello. Were you just at the park?" I froze. We hadn't told anyone we were there. Tony whispered, "Don't open it." But I peeked through the gap in the fence. She was standing there, smiling too wide. Her hair hung wet, like she'd been standing in rain that never came. And her eyes, they weren't looking at me. They were staring past me, like she was watching something right behind where I stood. I slammed the latch shut. We turned off every light, waited. No footsteps, no retreating car. Just her voice, low and soft, right behind the wood. "Catch me." Even now, years later, I won't go near that park. And sometimes, when I hear kids playing outside at night, I can't tell if they're really there. that wasn't the only thing that happened in that park. A few miles away, someone else was walking through that same darkness. And what followed them wasn't a voice, it was a shadow. The next story is called Story 2, The Man in the Park. I live in a small suburban town, the kind where everyone waves, where nothing ever happens, or at least that's what we like to tell ourselves. It was early summer 2018. I'd just finished a late shift at work. The night was thick and warm, the kind that feels like you're walking through memory. The park sat at the edge of my neighborhood, a quiet shortcut home. I'd walked it hundreds of times before. The air smelled of honeysuckle and asphalt cooling after a long day's heat. That's when I saw him. At first, I didn't think much of it. Just a man on a bench, hood up, head down. But the way he sat, too still, it made something inside me hesitate. I slowed down. He didn't move, didn't look up. I passed him. 5 steps later, I heard it. Footsteps behind me. Soft. Measured. Matching mine. Every time I stopped, they stopped too. Every time I turned, nothing. Just the hum of streetlights and the whisper of wind in the leaves. You know that feeling? Like someone's eyes are pressing between your shoulder blades. That was it. I could feel him watching, even when I couldn't see him. I crossed the street. The footsteps crossed too. I pulled out my phone, pretending to make a call. The screen lit up, glowing in my hands. And in that moment, I saw it. A reflection in the black glass. A figure standing behind me. Too close. I ran, didn't look back, didn't stop until I reached my porch. When I finally turned around, the park was empty again. Just shadows and wind. The next morning, I went back. Daylight made everything feel smaller, safer. But on the bench, carved deep into the wood, was a single word. Still, it hadn't been there before, and it wasn't a prank. The letters were rough, cut deep, as if someone had taken their time. Now, even in daylight, I can't shake the feeling that something's still sitting there, watching, waiting. Sometimes, at night, I hear footsteps again, soft, deliberate, just outside my window. I don't look anymore, because the last time I did, someone was standing there. Not a stranger, not a ghost. Someone I recognized. My reflection, smiling back. Some people are followed by voices, others by shadows. But the next story, they weren't followed. They were hunted. This one is called Story 3, The Truck at the Loop. This happened less than 24 hours ago. I shouldn't even be awake right now, but I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I still see the headlights. There were 6 of us. We'd gone to a place called The Loop, a forgotten patch of land at the edge of town. Just an overgrown field, a cracked road, and the ghost of an old baseball diamond. We wanted to light fireworks, to feel alive, one last time before summer slipped away. The air was heavy. A thunderstorm had passed earlier, and the ground still steamed with mist. We parked near the tree line. No houses for miles. Just the sound of crickets and our own laughter echoing into the dark. That's when I saw it. An old truck, black, parked down the road, engine off, windows tinted, no movement. We lit the first Roman candle. That's when the headlights came on. At first, we figured it was security. We started gathering our stuff, but then the truck revved. Once, slow, deep, and it started rolling toward us. No honk, no warning, just that low growl of the engine and gravel crunching under the tires. We laughed at first, cracking jokes, until it didn't stop, until it sped up. The laughter died. We ran, straight into the woods. Branches tore at our arms. Someone fell. Someone screamed. Flashlights cut through the trees behind us. Men shouting. 2 voices, maybe 3. But it was the metal I remember most. The sharp, dragging scrape of something hard. Steel on stone. Steel on steel. We dove beneath a fallen tree. The air was thick with dirt and gasoline. My heart was hammering so loud, I thought they'd hear it. One of them walked by, so close I could hear him breathing. He stopped, sniffed the air, then whispered something I couldn't understand, and laughed. Low, wrong. We didn't move, not even when the woods went quiet. Minutes stretched like hours. Then the truck started again. Its headlights swept through the trees, then faded. We ran, didn't speak. Branches whipped our faces. The sky had turned pale with dawn. When we reached the road, we saw it again. The truck, idling at the exit, facing us. It didn't move, didn't flash its light. Just sat there, watching. We backed away slowly, got in the car. No one said a word. We didn't even turn on the radio. And as we pulled away, I glanced in the rearview mirror. The truck was still there, its headlights small now, but still following. I don't think it was human. Not really. Because now, even in sleep, I hear that engine, waiting. And I know, one night, it'll find the loop again. 3 stories, 1 part. Maybe coincidence, maybe not. Some say the dark just hides what daylight refuses to show. Either way, if you ever hear a voice whisper, "Hello," don't answer, because sometimes the story isn't done with you yet. If you're still awake, you're one of us now. You've heard their stories, but the night keeps one just for you. Keep listening. The dark remembers.